Hi there, I'm Michelle and I would like to welcome you back to our Caboodles Coloring Class 1. Today we are going to be working on basic hair, and if you purchase the coloring class kit from the Angel Company Class 1, you have this handout on basic hair right here. And here we've done, on this handout we've done two tones of hair. So I just fold this in half, kind of like we did back if you walked through and did the skin tones. We had the two skin tones that we featured on there, and we have the two styles of hair, actually 4 hairstyles that we feature on here. And in this video we are going to be working on this first one. So we are going to get started on basic hair. And first I'm just going to start with the grandpa. Now I'm going to try to keep my sheet in one spot today so I don't make you sick. But typically when I'm coloring, I have my image and I'm constantly rotating my paper around, flicking in, feathering in, but constantly keeping my image moving. And I do that with all of my images. It might be a little bit more noticeable that I don't do that on my hair today, but I think we'll do just fine. So I'm going to start with N1, and we're going to start on Grandpa's hair, and we're just going to drop in, let's just go ahead and drop this N1 all along Grandpa's head here, his little hair. This is one of my favorite images that we came out with. Okay, we've got the light color dropped in. Now we're going to go to our medium color, which is N4. And I'm just going to follow. I'm just going to pick up some of these little lines. I've kind of got a heavy hand. Like I said, that's something that I'm always working on, is trying to color with a lighter hand. Typically I would turn this upside down and flick towards me. I'm going to kind of flick away. I'm just going to flick up into Grandpa's head here. Until I'm satisfied. Now remember, while you're working, you can see that I've kept a lighter area there. Make sure you don't take your next color, your medium color, and completely go over that lighter tone. Next I've got my N7, and I'm going to just gently go in. This is my darkest tone that I'm using. So I want to be a little more gentle, trying to be a little light-handed. Following a lot of the lines that are already there. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my N1 and I'm going to feather in. I want to just soften that. And this is going to come down to personal preference, how you want those lines to look. You might want more distinguishing lines in there, and you might find that you want to cover those lines up a bit more. And honestly, the more you try this technique and the more you do these, you're gonna learn just by doing, so you need to just keep practicing. That's how you're going to get better with Copics, is practice, 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 because there is such a huge learning curve. Now, if I wanted to, I could just leave it exactly like that. If I wanted to go back in with my middle or any of my dark colors, I certainly could. But that's just a real basic hair tone. Now, something else I want to point out is that you've also got this broad tip on your marker. And it's not a tip that I use very often, but it's really great too to flick in. You can get a really nice fine line on there, and it's also a tip that you might want to use when you're coloring hair. You might want to incorporate that into your image, so don't forget about that tip either. Okay, so let's move on to our little boy, and I'm going to start with my lightest color, which is Y32, and I'm just going to completely fill in this little guy's entire head with this color. And again, all of our Caboodle class exercise sheets are printed on our Caboodles cardstock, which is fabulous with Copic markers. Okay, so we've got our lightest color. Now I'm going to go to my medium color, which is Y35. He's just going to be a bright-headed little blonde boy. And I'm just using Notice that for the finer strokes, my marker is more direct. If I wanted a thicker stroke like this, I would lay it down more and apply more pressure. But I'm just going to go for this nice, subtle little look here. Following the hairline around that's already there, and I'm just adding to it, feathering up and into his little head. That one adds up here on the crown. Okay, now I'm going to pick up Y38, which is my dark color, my dark yellow, and I'm just going to gently drop this in. Okay, now I'm going to go back with my Y32. It's my light, and I'm just going to soften what I've already done. And until that ink dry, continue softening those darker colors. So if I take my Y32 and over my Y38, it's going to continue softening it until it dries. So I might go work down here and come back here, and this might be a little softer yet. So keep that in mind that not all of it's instantaneous till the ink is dry. So, okay, so there we go. Very quick, basic hair.